Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for whatever time it is where you're listening, and welcome back to the Macro Lounge.
I am Rachel, expert in all things Spartan.
And I'm Chris, former judge and coach, and the guy who'll tell you the truth about whether you're in condition or not.
So this week we are talking about the cost of competing. So how much does it actually cost to compete in bodybuilding? So pulling back the curtain and seeing where is your money going to be going, what do you spend the money on, and what should you cut some of the costs on?
Excellent, because we have to face facts. Comp prep might be a lifestyle, but it's also a rather large item line on your credit card statement. And if the rest of your family are not aware of what's going on, they sure will be when that comes through.
Definitely. It is not cheap. Your grocery bill alone, surely, probably quite expensive.
Which we will talk about.
Yes. So, first on our list of costs, because it is a very long list. Average show. How long do we think the average show costs, Chris? You did some math on this. I'm not good at math.
I did. We've actually prepared a wonderful little budget tool for you guys, and we will let you know a little bit about that later on. Look, the rough cost, if you're to do 1 to 2 or 3 shows a year, you can be looking at anywhere between $12,000 and up to $30,000 a year. And that's, okay, that takes into account if you're traveling internationally and stuff. But the other thing is you also got to remember, about a third of that's going to be food. But yeah, you're looking around 12, call it 12 grand minimum.
Very, very expensive. Then there's also different federations will also have different costs. So like FMG, for example, is significantly more expensive. A lot of that cost comes from the bikini. They have much more embellished bikinis than what the other federations do. So with that extra embellishment, extra time, which comes with extra cost, and even the show is quite expensive. So what did we say that cost, Chris?
I think one class for the FMG NZ Pro-Am this year is 499 Australian dollars, and I think 2 was 749. So yeah, considerable step up from the local federations, where you're looking at, I think what your annual fee for IFBB or NPC worldwide is $100 US, so it's about 150, and then ICN is about, I think, are they 135 this year or thereabouts?
I don't actually remember.
I'm sure Brenda will point out if we've made an error on that.
I just hit pay and just closed my eyes.
Sorry, is that how it works? Okay, I just need to send Rach an invoice and it's just like, excellent, that's good.
And if it doesn't decline, we're good.
All right, so let's break it down a little bit, line by line. What are you actually paying for? So what do you actually need? So you've got your needs, your wants, and your desires. So what do you need? Well, you need a coach. I'm not just saying that because I'm a coach, but it does make life easier.
You do need a coach, people.
Yeah. You need gym memberships. That's another one that a lot of people forget about. And PT sessions if you're paying for it. Some people do, separate from their coaching, anywhere from 1 session a month to 3 sessions a week, depends on your budget, right? And you could be paying anywhere from,
I think my cost when I was a PT was $50, so like that was low.
That was in 1933. It's gone up a bit since then.
Hey, I wasn't born then.
Yeah, I've seen.
So yeah, around $60 would be low end at this point for a 1 hour PT session.
Yeah, and you'd be high end, you'd be looking at 150, 160. There's not a lot of people who charge that amount, but they are out there.
Oh, we used to have one that charged at 180.
That's about what I charge.
Yes. Actually, on gyms though, because I know I've seen the question a lot about do you actually need a gym membership for a competition prep? Especially that question floated around a lot during COVID, because obviously we were doing a lot of home workouts. At this point of where bodybuilding is at, it's going to be almost impossible to build the amount of muscle you need without a proper gym setup. Home gym.
Unless you've got a really good home gym.
It has to be really good. Yeah. Like just your normal home setup probably isn't going to cut it at this point because you do need specific isolation exercises. It's not like most sports where you can do more like active, like it's more compound movements, like just generic squats, deadlifts. You still have to do that, but you also need the isolation, which is very hard to do without the specialized equipment.
And let's face facts, guys. We all walk into the gyms and we see that new piece of equipment and we all go, ooh. And especially when you've been around as long as I have, we go, so that's designed to do But what if I do? Ooh, I can do, and then I go, I can put that in Rachel's program. She'll freaking hate it.
Yeah, I've had a few of those messages.
Look what I found. Shit, that's true. What other expenses you got to have? Well, this is in Rachel's world. Pretty much got to have a bikini.
Now, cost of a bikini is going to be a bit of a range. For FMG, a bikini, you're looking at around $2,000 to $3,000.
Yep,
I've seen
easy. I would say.
Yeah,
I would say US dollars.
Yeah, they are expensive because I've tried a couple and they take a very long time. Like, it's a lot of hand sewing, which takes way, way, way longer than your standard bikini.
Yeah, what do they call them? Couture bikinis? I mean,
Couture.
It's not saying that they're not worth it, because they are. I mean, they're individually handmade. Yeah, they're stunning. But
because they also, a lot of them are custom designed too. So then you have to take the time to create the base pattern to actually sew it up. So yeah, it does take significantly longer. For most other federations, your bikini cost is going to be, like, for a new custom bikini, around $700 to $900, depending on what rhinestone quality. If you're getting the top rhinestones, like Preciosa, Swarovski type rhinestones, it's going to be over $1,000, probably 1,200, 1,300 maybe. Yep. If you're spending more than 1,500, then I would be looking at potentially another bikini company. That's getting quite pricey.
Or you'd be looking at your prices and increasing them.
Oh yeah, I always look at my prices to increase them, because I'm very much lower than what some other companies are charging.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, no, usually I charge around 7 to 8. But yes, you can also, though, you can rent them. You can buy them secondhand. There is a few New Zealand-based pages on Facebook. So there's the ICN buy and sell page, and there's also an IFBB buy and sell page. You do not have to compete with either federation to be on either of them. Just be on both. Doesn't matter. And so you can get secondhand bikinis for a relatively low cost. I've seen fully embellished ones for $300. Usually a rental will cost you around $250. But yeah, it depends on who you're getting that from as well. Usually I charge you around $250, because you know that you're getting it like checked, and it's going to be actually, you're getting everything you need with it. But yeah, I don't do too many rentals at this point. But yes, so
it doesn't seem to be a popular line item amongst the ladies for some reason. It's like, nope, gotta have my own. And then there are people out there who will have a different bikini for every show. I'm like, more power to you, but you know.
It's like a ball dress. You can't wear the same thing twice. Gosh, Chris.
Well, again, sparkles just, you know, I'm wearing black. It's like, it's the go-to color. It's like, you know, I can wear it with everything.
Yeah, I've had a couple of black bikinis this year. Yes, don't skimp out on your bikini. Sorry, actually, just a little bit more. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah,
don't skimp out on the bikini. If you go for the cheapest possible one, buy some random Etsy one, it's most likely not going to fit very well. If you go to, like, just, whatever cheapest option, usually even the plain ones or the lesser embellished ones, I'm going to say it is a budget thing. Don't necessarily do it because it looks better, because I'm sorry, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
The fully rhinestone ones will always look better. More sparkles are always better, let's be honest here. You can get less embellished ones for a less cost, but it depends. With IC and IFBB, usually you'll look a little bit out of place if you have no rhinestone.
I don't believe there's a term that says there are too many sparkles.
No, there's no such thing. No such thing. Except for Fit Model, which is the category we do not speak of yet.
Yes, that shall not be named.
I will never forgive the IFBB.
It's the Voldemort of bikini posing. It's like, no, we do not talk about that dark side. So other than bikini, a couple other things you kind of got to have.
Tanning, definitely important. So with most shows, you can get this through the federation. Other option is I do sell tan as well. I sell pro tan. I don't recommend mixing tans. If you're going to do one, do both coats of the same tan, just in case, because sometimes it can go a bit of a weird color if you try to mix things.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And if you are doing the pro tan, I don't recommend doing it yourself for your first show. Look at what color you should be first, because pro tan, most people tend to do themselves too light. So if you've never done a tan before, you don't know how dark it needs to be, which is darker than you think.
There's almost no such thing as too dark. But yeah, the tanning is critical. A lot of the federations, some of the federations, the IFBB, for example, includes it within your registration fee for the show, or they at least have done. I'm not sure about going forward. ICN, I know, have their partner tanners that are at the venue, which is cool. But yeah, if you're going to do it yourself, there are options. We, in our team, we use Pro Tan for everybody. Got a rather large bucket of it floating around. But yeah, the tanning, don't skimp on the tanning. It's, if it's cost you an extra $200 to do it through the preferential supplier, it's a better $200 than spending $200 at the local tanning down at the mall.
If your tanning is off, it's very obvious on stage.
Yeah,
you can see
and it happens a lot.
Even with the pros, like there was a recent pro show where one of the pros was very much too light, very, very much too light. She was like 3 shades lighter than everyone else, and you can see it.
Yeah, and you've done all the work. It's kind of a shame to just stand on stage and look like you haven't.
Yes, if you're lighter skinned like myself, you also might need an extra coat. So I actually kind of need 3 coats of tan.
A extra coat?
Maybe 4.
As the base, yeah. I'd believe that. But it's an expense. But it's also something like if you are really light skinned, don't wait till the day before for your base coat. Build up a color. I know a lot of people talk down of it, but sunbedding is one. Natural tanning, obviously, is another. Tan smart, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't get sunburn.
Do
not have sunburn on your show.
But also, if you don't have that ability, get a base tan done. Like if you're really, really pale, screw the extra $50. Get a base tan done on Monday. Then get another one done on Wednesday. And then get another one done on Friday when you're actually going in for the base one. Because it's kind of like a film. It develops. So you don't have to wait. The downside is you can't really bathe appropriately. So just have a really understanding partner.
I do have a tan-friendly deodorant, Pro-Tan.
Thank God for that, because you should just put that up on the website, just like sell nothing but that.
Not many people have bought it so far. I don't know if people know it exists.
No problem. I can tell you from time backstage, not many people know that it exists.
I mean, to be fair, I would only probably recommend it if you're using Pro-Tan, just in case it reacts weirdly with the other tanning companies. But yes, no, always have darker tan than you think if you are a lighter skinned person. Darker skinned people, I am so jealous of you. So jealous. Like my beautiful friend Jane last year. She's amazing, beautiful African competitor. She needed 1 coat of tan on show day. No base tan required. It was so unfair. She could shower the night before the show. And even the morning of, if she wanted to.
I can attest to that even darker complexed races do require tan as well.
Just not anywhere near as much.
No. But yeah, don't skimp on that. Other expense budget items that you've got to consider is things like your stage shoes, jewelry, backstage robe. That's always a good thing to have. Posing suits are a good thing to have as well. We highly recommend that for all of our team. In fact, we give you one just because it's consistent and you become more confident in the wearing that style of bikini. So
it is also a great way to see what styles suit you for your actual show bikini too, and it's obviously much cheaper than if you get your show bikini and you decide you don't like the cut. But on the jewelry and what was the other thing we said? Jewelry and shoes. You do not need to get fully embellished shoes or any rhinestoning on your shoes. You can just get the clear ones. The judges are not looking at your shoes. I promise you, in the 10 years that Chris was judging, he never once noticed how sparkly someone's shoes.
I did notice if their platforms were, goldfish bowl, stripper heel ones. There's a few of those I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to fly. The other thing is they don't actually have to be the classical, clear, posing shoes. There is no rule in any federation that says that. You could literally rock on down to, not that you would.
I can see you struggling to think of a shoe shop.
I know, I was like going, shit, what are we going to go?
Number one
shoes. Like I shouldn't. Number one. I was going to go a little bit fancier than that. I was going to say, Jimmy Choo's or...
that's probably more expensive.
Yeah. But you could. There's no rule that says you can match your bikini. It could be fabulous.
Actually, I believe ICN has a rule that says clear heels.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Although they do allow rhinestone. I guess the rhinestones are clear.
But again, it's all part of it. Yes. And there's different shoes. You try them on, try the different styles. You've got the more flat platform ones. You've got the ones that have up to around 2.5 centimeters. There's probably.
Yes. I mean, I can get. I can actually get the stripper heels. I do have some. Chris, I can even get some. Drag boots for you?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that was coming. I was like, I have been told I have the legs for it, but I'm not sure if that's an insult or a compliment. I'm choosing to take it as a compliment because we know I'm a delicate soul.
But yeah, usually Heels cost around $130 for the clear ones, and then going up there, the fully rhinestone ones are quite expensive. If you are getting the fully rhinestone ones, I do recommend having a pair of plain ones for posing in check-ins, because the plastic does wear out. Usually the plastic, if you're using them for posing in check-ins, it will only last a year. So I have my stage pair that I use only really for stage, and then I have my check-in pair. I actually also have a separate posing pair so that I can keep them in the car and not take them out.
Some people have gym shoes, some people have posing shoes, and your gym bag must be massive.
It is.
It's got wheels, just rocks into the gym.
Actually,
what other thing? Yep, sorry. Go.
You can tell the experienced competitors, the females, because they always come with suitcases with wheels.
This is true. This is true. You can always, yep.
Every time.
Yep.
Anyway,
well,
back
the last show that we did. The last show we did, I rocked up with a wheeling suitcase. I think it had about 40 kilos of dumbbells in it, rubber bands, tan towels, because it's like, I know you're the backstage mom, but I'm kind of like the backstage, I'm going to say granddad, just to make you feel better. Got to have all the bases covered. Anyway, back on topic. So what other costs can they expect? We've got those ones. Look, the robes, great thing to have. Don't ruin your
Not
tan.
necessary.
Get the satin ones. Not necessary, but we'll give you one anyway because we like you.
Yeah, they're good for photos, but if you feel like it's too much cost for you, if you're not part of our team and you don't get one anyway, you don't need to buy one. It's not necessary. And they're not going to actually help your tan. They're actually going to smudge it, if anything. So cotton, old clothing, $5 from the warehouse or Kmart, wherever, is actually going to be better for you than the satin robes. They just look nice in photos.
They do. They look very, especially if they've got pockets. I've learned pockets are important, ladies and gentlemen. I did not know this, but it has been clarified to me numerous times in the last year. What else do they will need to spend money on? Hair and makeup?
Yes, so makeup, do not skimp out on the makeup. You can do it yourself. I spent about $500 on just buying makeup for myself to do it myself, so it took me about 5 shows to make it worth it. Yeah, makeup's not cheap. Even a bottle of foundation is going to be $120 for a good bottle of foundation, which you'll need your own bottle for your shade of tan, which you need to make sure you get right. So make sure if you're a first timer, do not do your own makeup. I repeat, do not do your own makeup if you're a first timer. And make sure you pay for a makeup artist who has done bodybuilding makeup before. That is very important because they need to know what do the stage lights look like and what does the tan look like. Sometimes you might be getting your makeup done before you get your last coat of tan. So yeah, very important to make sure your makeup artist understands getting what happens in a bodybuilding show so that they can make sure your face is appropriately colored.
And as I said, hair is another one.
Not super necessary to get your hair done. No. You can just brush it and straighten it and you're good to go.
Yeah, to be fair.
Or curl it, depending on if you're curly hair.
I've seen some people who just, from a judging background, I personally prefer the less is more. It was back when Bikini first sort of came on the scene in 2013 or 14, whatever it was, around the early dark ages. It was like a more is better. It was like 80s rock videos with like hairspray and teasing and just like you're like, thankfully they've ruined that now. But if hair and makeup is something that you just have to allow for, get it done professionally.
If you are buying hair extensions, buy good hair extensions. That's one thing. So you can cheap out on the hair and not just not pay to get it professionally done. Just brush it, straighten it, whatever, depending on your hair type. My hair's pretty dead, so I can just kind of rock up. But other people not so much. But yeah, you don't have to pay to get it professionally done. But if you are getting hair extensions, get good ones because it's very obvious on stage if they are not. Yeah, that's something to spend the money on if you are getting those.
And again, it's all part of the package, the total overall look. Whilst you're not necessarily judged on your hair, you are judged on the overall presentation and how you, what you're bringing to stage. And if you've got horrendous looking Kmart special hair extensions, it's kind of like, you don't want to, but it's one of the first things you notice. So you just like, once you've seen it, you're like, you can't unsee it. There's also, those are the obvious ones, but obviously there's some sneaky costs too. The stuff that will kind of catch you off guard that you weren't necessarily expecting. And those are sort of things that, like in the budgeting tool that we've done for you, we've sort of included some of those. But a couple of things you sort of got to think about is, where are you competing? So do you have travel involved, flights? hotels, rental cars, Airbnbs, whatever it is that you're looking for. Those are all added expenses that going into a show you should be budgeting for, because if you're planning on doing a South Island show and you live in Whangarei, well, it shouldn't come as a surprise that you're going to have to buy a couple of plane tickets. So make sure that when you're planning that out, your competitive year, that you're building that into the budget. Don't skimp on it by trying to fly in on, if your check-in's on Friday and you'll say, we'll use the South Island as, or let's say, for example, we'll use an American example. Say you're competing in Mesa, Arizona, and you live in Los Angeles. Well, shit happens sometimes. So if your registration is on Friday and it's between 12 and 4, and I've seen this happen countless times in New Zealand, don't plan your travel so that you're going to arrive at 4. It's not up to the venue to stay open for you. You need to be better prepared. And if something goes wrong, you don't need the extra stress of trying to save $50 on an airfare by flying via Timbuktu or flying the day before. Budget for it. Get there the day early. Get there in the morning. Allow yourself the time. Check out where the hotel is. What makes sense to you? Is it an Airbnb? Is it a hotel? The other thing, speaking about hotels and travel, plan to take your own sheets, because you do not want to budget for the cost of replacing a hotel sheets, because I can tell you they will charge you a truck ton more than it would for rocking up at Kmart and buying them there.
Or take a sleeping bag or something to just not have tan on.
Yeah.
Same with pillowcase. You'll need your own pillowcase, but usually they will have white ones.
Mm-hmm.
And
and towels
everywhere. Mm-hmm. And towels. Yep, I got in trouble with the Airbnb ones for getting makeup and tan all over their towels.
Yeah, it doesn't come off.
No, even after you shower it off and scrub as much as you want, it will still come off. Comes off.
So that's one expense. Other one, Rach, what? Food?
Food, yeah, even just everything. Oh, going to Australia last year for Worlds, I think that it cost me about $5,000.
And you don't eat.
Yeah. So yeah, food. When you're traveling as well, you will need to either take your food with you or organize to buy food there. Sometimes they won't have the food that you are supposed to be having, so be prepared for that as well. You may need to have substitutes. Most places will have some form of chicken and rice somewhere, but
not entirely true. We did do a show in China.
You're telling me they didn't have chicken and rice in China?
No, honestly, it was the host hotel. And you're talking about 1,500 athletes, right? Most of them were from the Middle East. They were from all around the world. Wasn't actually that many from China. And the host hotel.
What part of China was this?
The buffet. It was in Beijing. The buffet.
Oh, that's why.
For the host hotel, there was no protein source at all. And then finally they cottoned onto something. So they did a bunch of boiled eggs, still in the shell, mind you. And there was flat plates. So you had all these bodybuilders, these massive big guys from the Middle East, and we're talking and they're walking around with these, standard dinner plates with hard-boiled eggs on them.
See, that's why you stay with the touristy areas there, because if you've gone to more local, I can guarantee you, they would have chicken and rice.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was to the point that it's the only time in the 14 years that I've known Fawad that I've seen him actually cheat.
Because I've never experienced anywhere in Asia for them to lack protein or rice.
It was unusual.
That's crazy.
But yes, take it with you. Yeah, plan for it. If you're going to be competing in, let's say, domestically in New Zealand, you're in the final stretch, so take your own food. The planes don't look sideways at you when you take it through, as long as it's sealed up. And just plan your meals, take them with you, or engage one of the meal prep companies to have them delivered to your hotel. But again, it's a cost to make sure you're aware of it. You talked a bit about tan before, Rich, but you've got stuff goes sideways. So plan for it. So extra tan. You were talking about protein before. I know you guys have the little touch-up kits.
Yes, there is the top coat that you can buy that if you are doing the protein anyway, you would already have the top coat. You just add more on top. And you are good to go. I know ICN, if you get your tan done through Shine, who is the on-site tanners, they will touch your tan up as well on the day, so you don't have to do anything there. With other federations, you probably need to do your own touch-ups.
Yeah. And if you are touching up your tan, and for example, if you're using Protan, do not attempt to touch up your tan with Liquid Sunrays or Jantana or any other brand, because it's not going to be the same color. Now, it might look better than a great big streak down the back of your leg, but stick to the one that you got tanned with.
Yeah, whatever you got tanned with is what you should use.
What's a bottle of emergency care?
I don't think I have like a little emergency one. I think I only have the 4 bottles. I think they're about $80.
That's not bad. There you go, $80.
But yeah, the top coat does last ages. It lasted all of my shows last year, which was a lot of shows.
It was. It was a lot of shows.
So yeah, the top coat lasts ages. It's mainly the base coat that is the cost, because the super dark lasts me 1 show, if that. And then generally I would assume the same with the standard one. I can't say I've really used the standard one. I'm too white on that. And I think they're around the same, like $80-ish. I'm terrible with numbers. I apologize. Please check that.
But again, it's stuff that you need to keep an eye on. Other ones you've got is post-show. Post-show, you've got to kind of think about that, especially if it's your last show of the year. It's like, you've made it to the finish line, whether that's at a regional level or a national level. Plan for it. Again, you don't want that nasty surprise. You've got your drinks, dessert, second dessert, because there's always room for dessert.
You're being a bad influence here, Chris. We should have
I'm not dieting.
Proper food first, and try not to have too many desserts post-show, because that's not going to end well.
No, it's not going to end well. Your digestive system is ill prepared for such gluttony.
Yes, try to avoid the sweet stuff a little bit immediately post-show.
Yeah, it is always interesting when you see some of the after-stage boxes. It's one of them, Amy, going to kill me. What's her last name? Amy.
Lang?
No.
Jacobs.
From Wellington.
Jacobs.
Is it Jacob?
Amy Jacobs, yeah.
Okay.
The one who competed in Hawaii pink suit.
Oh, yeah. She is a mad baker.
Yes.
And she always brings extras, shall we say. Rebecca Moody, another one from Wellington Wellness, she does the same thing. But yeah, Amy brings these like massive boxes of these incredibly tasty goodies and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, you can just see everybody backstage just go, I think she gets attacked afterwards. So
eat at your own risk.
Take your own treats. What else extra that pops up there, Rachel? The odd glam emergency. So
if you find you've lost an earring, or something's broken, or maybe you've just lost all your bracelets. Sometimes people put their jewelry in weird places. I don't know. Generally, the jewelry is not too crazily expensive. You can get it relatively cheap. You don't even actually, to be honest, you could do away with the jewelry altogether if you really wanted to. It's nice to have a couple of bracelets and one set of earrings, sorry, not one earring.
Just the side that's facing the judges. That's the important part.
Put
it on the same side as your number.
Close enough. It is probably a good idea to have, just everything there for an emergency. Like, you might need some, extra supplements or something on the side. I don't know, like extra protein powder. Protein powder, actually, we didn't talk about that, cost of food and stuff.
I included that.
Oh, you did?
I included, yeah.
Supplements are expensive.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, okay. There's another 15 grand. All right, moving right along. So what about what's actually worth spending money on and what's not? You've got stuff that, you need to have a strategy. You can't, unless you've got an unlimited bank account.
I would.
You can't have everything. We'd all love to have everything. We'd all love to have a bikini for every show, and plus,
I do have a
bikini carry
it around.
For every show. Yeah, but unique. But you also save all your bikinis to the last minute, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's wasn't. All right, so I guess you've got, if you're planning stuff, you got the things that you should splurge on, right? That you spend the money. It's an investment.
Worth the cost.
An investment in you. A couple of things we sort of talked about it before. Obviously, coaching, that's a splurge. Could you do it without? Sure. More and more unlikely that people will go without a coach these days.
It's also very hard to be objective to yourself in this sport, because you're looking at your own body. Most people can't really separate their own feelings to their body versus what they actually look like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think that's why. And you're always going to get, even if it is your coach, you're going to get a more unbiased opinion than you are from your significant other or your family members. Yep. If they're half smart, which I know Ed is, he's going to always, you look great, honey.
No, he goes for the Asian way, and he tells me I look like trash.
He just goes, maybe you should do the next show, honey. Ooh, no, see, I wouldn't.
No, he'll tell me, he'll be like, you're squishy today. Did you put on weight? or if I'm really lean, he'll be like, ooh, you're lean, I don't want to touch you. Look at the bones.
we should do an episode and we'll get Ed and Valerie on as
God,
as
that would be
guests,
dangerous.
and they can talk about life of having a significant other in the sport of bodybuilding. It'd either go really well or we'll both end up getting divorced.
Well, he's worse than you, so I think we might get cancelled if we have Ed on.
That's true. That's it. Yep, I could see. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe just Val.
I'd probably get cancelled anyway. She'd just be like, "Oh, just me and Rachel. We don't need you." I'll be like, "Fine." I already know that I'm outvoted 2-1, so I've accepted my role in life now on this podcast. All right, moving on. What else? Spurging quality bikini.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, if you go for the cheap route, often it's not going to fit or you're going to end up with issues. There is some cheaper companies that do a good job, I will say that. One of them is based in Australia, although they're actually pretty similar pricing to me these days. But you can DIY as well, so that costs about $300 by the time you put rhinestones on. Don't cheap out on the rhinestones. Buy the glass ones, please. Just pay the $20, $40 for it. Don't pay $5 for the plastic. It's worth the extra $30.
And I think that goes right across the board in anything with this sport is you can always find a cheaper option.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, but you do. And sometimes you don't find out till it's too late.
If there's a coach that's charging minimal, there's usually a reason behind it.
Yep.
Most coaches are, a little bit more pricey, especially if they're good.
Yeah. And again, you've got it's the same applies to bikinis. You've got mass-produced bikinis, which are pretty much off the rack. Maybe a little bit. You can buy, as you said, there might be 10 different types of variations. Coaching's the same. You've got mass-produced coaching where you've got a brand and a face, and everybody gets the same program, plus or minus, and that's fine. That's a business model. But again, know what you're paying for. You get what you expect. And you'll get, it's the same goes with your bikini, the same goes with your coaching, same goes with your tan, same goes with food. If you're paying $6.99 for ground beef, mince, whatever, well, it's probably going to be 25-30% fat. So what does that make you, other than a prize idiot?
Do you realize how that came off?
Yep, that's all right. I can live with it.
What does that make you? Eating fat.
Yeah, it will do if you eat ground beef with 30% fat.
Not to me.
Unless it's, well, no, that's true. Yeah, there's an exception to every rule. But yeah,
anyway.
So moving on. Tan, we talked about a little bit. Don't cheap out on that. That's, again, you've done all the hard work. If you want to go to some local tanning shop in the mall, and they'll tell you, we use X, Y, and Z, which is what they use on stage, and it's the darkest one in that. Look, there's a reason there's known brands that are used by every single federation at the highest elite level. Protan, yep. Well, that's the one that used at the Olympia. Can't go wrong there. Jantana is another big one. Is it Liquid Sunrays is another one.
Sunspired? Where's that name coming from? Or is that a tanning company? I don't know.
I think it's a tanning company, yeah. But there's big ones. There are other tans that they tell you that they use that look like absolute crap on stage. They go dusty. They might look good in real life, but as soon as you get up under those bright lights, they're not doing you any favors. So for the sake of saving yourself $20, get the right tan. And again, budget for it. It's not a surprise. They don't hide these expenses. They're pretty much known the whole year round.
Yeah, definitely. And then same goes with the makeup. Get someone who's done it before, who knows what they're doing. There is a few good makeup artists. You need to book them early. A lot of the time they're fully booked by 12 weeks out from the show, so you do need to get that done very early. You can do it yourself, but again, you will need to spend a lot of money on good quality makeup, because if your makeup is not the right color on stage, or if it's too much, too little, the stage lights will just exaggerate it, and it is painfully obvious, as I have experienced first.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's, as you said, 12 weeks out. We've already booked the makeup artist for nationals this year for both federations. Yeah, I booked her last year.
Oh. Didn't know that.
I don't mess around. So, I mean, if you want to get who you want to get, it's like when your hairdresser. It's like or your doctor. You don't just rock up and say, I'm going to do it now. It's like, no, you know how much they're going to cost. You budget for it and you plan for it. So it shouldn't come as a surprise. But saying that, there are ways you can save money in this sport as well. A few.
There are?
Now he tells me. Well, we were talking about it just the other day, yesterday. Bulk buy your proteins.
Yes.
Invest in a chest freezer.
Or get one secondhand from your parents like I did, and then you don't have to pay for it.
I need to talk to your parents. My mother will help me out, probably a bit late. I think I'm the same age as your father. Moving along. But yeah, you can bulk buy proteins. It's I've never understood why in New Zealand we have seasonal prices with chicken. Pretty sure they're hatching them year round. But chicken will vary in price from $7 a kilo up to, and we're not talking organic, free range chicken. We're talking chicken. It go up to $17, $18 a kilo. So when you see it for a reasonable price, or you go to the likes of Costco or was it Gilmore's when I sent you that?
Gilmore's.
Yeah. When you have to buy it by 12-kilo blocks, then what do you get? If you've got a normal fridge freezer at home, you're kind of screwed. But that is a way to save.
I did get told off yesterday. I got banned from buying my cucumber that was on my plan because they were $5 each.
Did I get blamed for that?
Well, it was on my plan.
I got blamed for it.
Yeah, I didn't end up buying it because Ed told me I wasn't allowed it.
Fair enough. And he's sliding down my popularity scale. He starts the year at here. The time we get to showtime, he's like, Ed, yeah, we need to talk. But that's another thing when you're doing plans and when you're doing with coaches, whether your coach is New Zealand based or you can always tell an American based coach when you get the plan because it'll always have two things in it. It'll have tilapia.
Tilapia, yes, that's a big thing with the Americans.
It's like the New Zealand version of hokey. It's disgusting. I don't care what you do to it. It tastes like it's just got texture and it'll have turkey.
Yeah, they're big fans of turkey too.
Yeah, well, we can't get it here. Every now and again. I remember
Christmas.
I remember driving past the Aussie butcher of all places, and they had a big sign out saying turkey mince, and it was like $5.99 a kilo. I was like, I'm all for that. So yeah, you can save money by doing that. Obviously, buying bulk rice rather than buying a small kilo bag, buy a 25 kilo bag. You will eat it. And even things like frozen vegetables versus fresh vegetables. I mean, nutritionally, stuff all difference, really. Quality and flavor. Well, let's face facts. Most bodybuilders are not known for their taste buds, but you can save money. What other ways can you save money, Rach?
In posing suit, you can buy them secondhand again, or you could use it as a beach bikini, but again, it's better to use a posing suit because the shape of the back, especially, is very different to a beach bikini. Oh, you can share on some of your travel costs, so you can carpool with people, you can book an Airbnb with other people as well. If your makeup artist is traveling, often they will require like 5 people. So yeah, get together, book one makeup artist all together, and then you can usually get a cheaper price as well. So yeah, if you talk to other people, you can usually get some little share prices on things like that.
Yeah, that's sharing that sort of expense across. That's a really, really good idea to, you're going to get an Airbnb with 3 rooms, cheaper than you're going to get 3 hotel rooms. If the hair and makeup person can do 5 or 6 of you just in sequence, again, it's all a little bit of a cost saving. But again, plan for it in advance, put it down in your budget, and then go from there.
And one thing I like to do that I was talking to Chris about before is that I have a separate little account. So when you go into your banking account, whichever one it is, you have your different accounts. I have another one specifically for bodybuilding costs. So I will put money in there, and that's where all my bodybuilding costs come from. So then the money is put aside. So when it's time to pay my coaching fees or it's time to pay a show, the money has already been put aside. I'm not just watching my main account just dwindle down slowly and sadly.
So you don't put cucumbers in that?
Ed pays for the groceries.
So that's a no.
Nah.
Nice try.
Hey, it's because he eats like 4 times as much as me.
Exactly. Yeah. So really, he's got not a leg to stand on.
No.
The other thing is you can save on federation fees. Whilst it's really cool to find your home where you belong, again, you're going to pay, if you do multiple federations in a year, you're going to pay multiple membership fees. There is no way you can save that other than picking one. And you probably wouldn't necessarily do that in your first year of competing. I'd sort of spread around, find your home, but then make a decision. And that will save you a little bit of money as well.
Couple $100.
Yep. $100. All right. So, and of course, the other one that you can save money is by competing locally. So,
You don't have to travel.
Yeah, you don't have to travel. So plan your shows around it. Again, the calendars come out towards the end of the year, early new year. Plan it from there, so you know where you go. You can plan a budget. You can look online, see roughly what airfares. You don't have to pay for it, but as Rachel said,
Stay with
put
friends.
money aside. Stay with friends.
If you have them.
Yep. If you have them, most bodybuilders don't because they're very antisocial.
We just we send each other reels, and that's friendship.
Yep. I can attest to that. I have seen, and it's usually you can see this one was forwarded by this one to this one to this one to this one. He's like, why is it always liked by the same people? It seems to be a pattern. So we have terrified people enough, I think, with how much this stuff's going to cost. So maybe we can soften the blow for them a little bit. We're talking about maybe some hacks you can do to try and save some money. Rachel, you mentioned sharing travel and accommodation costs with teammates. Went over a little bit about, I think, a couple of good points like booking glam services, hair, makeup together. But I think the key way that you can really get on top of this so you're not freaking out and questioning your competitive decisions halfway through prep, you don't want to pull out a prep because you can't afford it. You should know this well in advance. Is plan early. Either pay things off in stages or do what Rach said, which is set up that bank account. Just put in, like work your budget out in advance. The sheet that I was talking about, guys, I'll give you a link to it shortly. It'll have a monthly cost. Work out what that you can do, and just every month, just put that into that account so that when the time comes to pay your coaching fees, your membership fees, your hair, your makeup, your tanning, all of that sort of your bikini, you've already halfway home. So it's not suddenly like, is how much?
Yes, because otherwise you go to pay your entry fees, like, I don't know, 8 weeks out, you start looking at, okay, now I need to book my photos. I might even book a photo shoot. That's another cost if people want to do that, a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pay your entry fees, pay your membership fees. Some people are still buying shoes, jewelry at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What else are they buy? Oh, it's hair, makeup. That's a lot of money all coming out of your account at once. You can start it early or just have the money put aside for those things that you can't pay early. Have the money put aside, and then it's a little bit less scary.
Yeah. And we've talked about this in other episodes as well. Is like, this is not a cheap sport. No. So you plan for it. It's the only way you can. And as I said, pricing can vary by the time you take into account everything from food and supplements and your coaching and your just everything. You are talking thousands and thousands of dollars a year. Much like any of you, if you've got kids, by the time you pay the subscription fees for the teams and you pay for the uniforms and then the travel, and you think this is a cheap sport, and suddenly you find out that in a year you spent $6,000 on little Jimmy and Susie to play football, and it's like.
So yeah, make sure you're in a good financial space. If you cannot afford to compete this year, if you are struggling to pay your rent, prioritize that. Life is more important. The stage will still be there. Give it another year. That's just more time to grow. So just leave it for this year. That's fine. It's tough out there. Most people don't have a lot of spare money just lying around. I mean, most of us wish we did, but we do not, sadly. So yeah, if you are not in a space to compete, just set it aside. Wait till you are in that space, because certain things, if you cheap out on them, it's just not going to make the show experience as good. And it's going to be obvious on stage for certain things as well.
Yeah. And if you are working with a coach and you get to a point at any stage when, put your hand up and say, this is just I can't afford it anymore. And your coach will either negotiate something with you and say, oh, look, okay, but remember, time is money. Same with the bikinis, don't go in asking for a discount, because you probably wouldn't ask your boss for a discount, or they wouldn't ask you for a discount off your hourly rate that you get paid or your salary. But communicate with them and say, I just can't afford to compete this year. I still want to do it. And coaches may turn around and say to you, look, I tell you what we can do is I'll give you some plans to follow. I'll touch base with you every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, just to see where you're at, so that you can take that pressure off, but still have some form of structured off season rather than just saying, okay, I'm going to budget just for a 16-week prep. Because I can tell you, personally speaking, as a coach, we don't like doing that, and we don't like just doing prep. The magic happens in the growth season. But if you are struggling, talk to them. Again, it's not the most important thing in the world. It might seem to you at the time, but it's not worth the stress. So, and you've been through that, Rachel. You know, sometimes, like as you said, you won't do the Worlds this year because it's just too expensive.
Oh, Dubai. I looked at the flights and I was like, nope.
Yeah, no. It's and again, it's you got to make that decision and budget it. So we talked about, we have put together a bit of a budgeting tool for you with kind of a best case, worst case scenario. That's available on my website, boldphysique.com. If you go to the website, up in the top right hand corner, you'll see a section that says free downloads. Just go to that, download that. It's a really handy little tool. Put in when you're planning on starting your season, what dates your shows are roughly going to be in, and it will sort of help work out things like roughly what you're going to be looking at for coaching, what you're going to be looking at for food, and you can go through there and select the things that you are going to need, and it will just help you plan better. We've also put in an area where you can just add ad hoc stuff, so you can sort of, it's more of an idea to give you a guide. All right, so make use of it. And if you've got any feedback on that, let me know. But I think we've probably terrified people enough on this whole costs of bodybuilding, competing.
Hopefully we haven't scared anyone away.
No. Again, just be smart. Budget for it. It won't be a surprise. It's not like you get unexpected expenses in this sport. It's not like if you're into motorcycle racing or car racing and it's like you blew an engine. It's pretty much if you blow an engine in this sport, you're kind of poked.
It's a problem.
It's a problem, yeah.
So yes, no. Hopefully we have helped you guys a little bit with your budgeting, and we'll be back with another great episode for your cardio next week.
Yeah, we've enjoyed your time, and we will see you all next Saturday. And from Rachel and I, thank you very much, and keep training.